I'm a graduate of Morristown High School. When I came in 1979, we taught struggling students. So I knew from my experience with them that I was hoping to teach here for a long time. When I first started in 1979, the building was much smaller than it is today. But in the 1980s, when the first construction started, we used Alexander Hamilton as an annex, and students and teachers both walked from this main building over there and vice versa every day to attend classes because we needed the extra room. One of the most significant changes has been the diversity of our students compared to when I started in 1979, and also the use of technology in the classroom. I attended William Patterson, which is now William Patterson University, and I was assigned here for my student teaching, and I then applied for a substitute teaching position. I was interviewed by Mr. James Galbraith, who was a science teacher and then became a vice principal and then our principal, and he hired me in the full-time position as mathematics teacher. And I've been here ever since. Some of my favorite memories, well, they're going back a while. In 1982, we had a company come in and we played donkey basketball, where we actually played basketball riding donkeys. I coached field hockey for about 5 or 6 years with Diane DeSalvo and Linda Murphy. That was in the 1980s. I love to participate in our annual graduation ceremony. That's a very memorable event for me. Another memorable event is watching Linda Murphy, who was a student and then a teacher in the math department and then a vice principal, become principal. That was a stellar accomplishment in my time here. I work with an incredible staff. I work with incredible students. I love to write their college recommendations when they're seniors, and I love to hear what colleges they have gotten into. I would encourage anyone who would like to become a teacher to fulfill their lifelong dream, okay? Follow it. Teaching today is a lot different than when I started. We wear many hats. Not only do you have to know the subject material, but I think you have to be a certain type of person in order to become a teacher. You have to be a counselor, a friend. You have to be firm at times. But my advice would be to empathize with your students, be fair, be flexible, get advice from other teachers. Don't close your door and stay in the teaching room all by yourself, okay? Continue your learning, keep up with the times, that's for sure, and collaborate and communicate.
I came here in 1964, actually, as a student teacher, and I was fortunate enough to be offered a job. I enjoyed working with the people and the students here. We have a much more diverse student body than when I started, and a faculty to go along with that. The way students learn, technology, computer education, and things like that. When I started, they gave teachers a box of chalk, an eraser, and you had a chalkboard. Students were given a textbook. You did your research in a library, and it was all paperbacks. Now today, we have Chromebooks, we have a media center, which is the old library, but we have technology there, so that's a change. Security has, that's changed a lot, and of course the reason for that is some of the violence that's taken place, unfortunately, in the school districts and in our society over the last few years. We have more security now than we've ever had before. There is kind of a relaxed way of dress. When I came, all the male teachers the first day were wearing shirts, ties, sport jackets, suit jackets. Female teachers wore dresses and skirts. Today it's a much more relaxed dress setting, I guess you'd say, for teachers and for students. Students were not permitted to wear shorts. They weren't permitted to wear open-toe sandals. I was a history major at what was then called Trenton State College. It's now called the College of New Jersey. And I came here in I guess it was September 1964 as a student teacher. My cooperating teacher was a gentleman who was really a fabulous history teacher, and I was fortunate to work under him, was Joe Dempsey. And he helped me along, and then fortunately I got offered the job the following year. I was on football staff for many years, and in 1974, that was the first year they had football playoffs in New Jersey. Morristown, I think, was the only team or one of the few teams to qualify from Morris County. And we went by bus to Atlantic City to play the game in Convention Hall, an indoor facility. And we won the game. We were very fortunate. We beat Bloomfield. But what I remember a lot about that game was that a lot of the student body drove down, their parents as well, for the game. And when we came back, when we got into Morristown, the bus stopped, and we had dignitaries from the town. I don't remember exactly who they were, whether it was mayor or council people, that got on the bus to congratulate us. And then the fire department and the police department gave us an escort around the green to the high school. That was very memorable for me. I no longer teach, but I have this position, which is Director of Accounts for Student Activities and Athletics, where I handle the financial part of things for the school. That I remember when I was my first year, the principal, a man named Bill Cogan, had a meeting with all the new teachers. He said, you know, when you're a new teacher, you want the students to like you first, and you figure once they like me, then they'll do what I ask them to do. He said, really, it should be the opposite. You should win their respect first, and then they'll learn to like you later on. And he was right. Now, by respect, I don't mean verbal or physical abuse. I don't mean that. But I mean giving directions. These are the expectations that we want for the course, and following through on them. And I would say that's very important. A second thing would be, and you won't know this until you've been in education a while, you get older. The block that you teach stays the same. So when I started teaching, I was 22 years old. When I retired, I was 63. So I have to find a way to continue to relate to people in that age category, even though I am aging.
Well, I started here in 1976. I stayed because I love what I'm doing and I enjoy being here. I would say what's changed the most is the facility. Greatly improved since the day we started. I ended up at Morristown High School teaching phys ed, in large part due to Tony Gervasio, who used to be the head wrestling coach. I did so, interviewed with a gentleman by the name of Cap Smith, and the rest, as they say, is history. I got the job and stayed ever since. I would encourage it. It's been a great profession for me. I've enjoyed all my years in teaching. I encourage others to do so, as I've been very fortunate in that I've never had to feel like I had to go to work in the morning and enjoy coming to work. I'm very, very fortunate. A lot of people can't say that, so I do treasure that and enjoy every minute of it.
The reason I stayed in one district for so long was because I didn't want to break Mr. DiGiacchino's heart, because Mr. DiGiacchino brought me here. Well, the physical structure has certainly changed a lot in the remodeling of the rooms and the athletic facilities and the addition and so on and so forth. Personnel have changed a lot in the last 33, 34 years. We've gone through a lot of teachers and administrators. My good friend and colleague, Mr. DiGiacchino, called me at home. He needed an assistant wrestling coach, and my name had been given to him by someone outside. He asked me if I was certified in driver education, because that was the opening at the time, and I said yes, I was. And the rest was history. I came, I got hired, I taught driver education for about 18 years before I moved into health and then finally into the gym. Oh, my favorite memories are probably of the teams that I've coached and the players that I've had the privilege of coaching. Funny memory I had when I first got here, we had a fire drill, and somebody pulled the fire drill, and one of the students that went here had a pilot's license, and this was all staged. And while the whole school was outside on the football field for the fire drill, he was buzzing his plane and up and down. He was parked at the municipal airport over here, and he got in his plane because he knew there was going to be a fire drill because his friend pulled it, and he was buzzing the football field with his plane while we were all standing there watching him.
The main reason I stayed in one district for so long is I'm from Morristown. I'm from this district, went to Morristown High School, actually started at Hillcrest, went to AH right down the street, Frelinghuysen, and obviously Morristown High School. I just love the town. I love the kids in the town. They've always been the same. Have a lot of friends in town whose kids go to school here in the district. I think things have changed everywhere, just in education. It made it harder to be a teacher. We used to have a lot more freedom and creativity in teaching. But other than that, I don't think too much has changed. There's a very young staff now. Kids are the same. That's why you keep coming back. I ended up in Morristown High School after I graduated. I went to the University of Maryland after I came back from college. I knew the head of personnel here. I was actually thinking about going to law school. And she basically said, why don't you just sub, while you're figuring that all out. And I subbed for a year, and then they just offered me a job. It took me, I wasn't certified to be a teacher or anything like that. I had to go through a little side kind of training for a year to actually get certified. When I was coaching basketball for a while. We won a couple of championships, sent a bunch of kids to college actually to play basketball. I coached track for a while, and one of my athletes actually participated in the Olympics. Other than that, every day is just fun. PGC is a class, which you can see this is one of our PGC classes now. This is actually the only class I used to teach history, so I've taught history for 20 years, and now I'm a hybrid. I'm out of the classroom for the most part and just in PGC. PGC is a blast for me, for Miss Priola. I don't know if they have as much fun as us, but I love coming to PGC. It makes me get up in the morning. Saying anyone wants to be a teacher, it's a tough job. It's a rewarding job. I think regardless of what else happens, if you can see kids be successful, that's what you're in it for. So if you're out to help people, this is the job. A lot of kids need help. A lot of kids are going through tough times in life. So, those are the best things about teaching, the best parts of teaching. But you got to be ready to deal with a lot of issues, and kids having a hard time. But, every year at the end of the year when our seniors graduate, they go on to college, it's worth it. And that's the advice I would give, be prepared to help people and see them be successful.
I stayed in the Morris School District because it is a tremendous place to work. I started in Roxbury. I was there for 4 years, and I had an opportunity to move to Morris School District. The Morris School District takes care of the employees. The parents are supportive of the district. The students are just incredible. So it offered opportunities that other districts didn't have. The high school's changed a lot in regard to the number of classrooms and the setup and the programs that they offer. They've added clubs. It grows and grows every year. The STEM program was added several years ago, the new science wing. The art programs have developed through the years and are really second to none. So the opportunities for our students have continued to grow at Morris School District in all 26 years I've been here. I had an opportunity to change what I do. So I was teaching for a while. I was on the child study team at Frelinghuysen, and this opportunity arose to be a transition coordinator here at Morristown High School. But I was excited to come here. Many teachers have been at Frelinghuysen and are now at the high school, and I was excited to work with the students in a different capacity. I have the opportunity now to build partnerships for students with businesses in the community. And we have so much fun. It's much more relaxed, and we get to do a lot of fun things with our students in the summertime. I really love that. I would encourage students who want to become teachers to work with children in the summer, whether it be in a camp or working with our district in our summer programs, to see if that's really something that they might want to do and what grade they might want to teach. Think about what level they would want to teach at as well. Once they decide to get into college, they would make sure that they increase their opportunities, especially in the summertime, to work with different types of programs. There's so much you can do in a school other than teach. We have physical therapists, we have speech teachers, we have occupational therapists, behavior therapists. It's such a wide range to be able to work in a school and do so many different things. So explore all the opportunities.